So I'm going to play a quick video and then we'll get started. All right, welcome everyone to Thursday Night Prenatal. My name is Caitlin Tallarico and happy to be here with you all, whether this is your first time or returning. As always, this class is like an all levels class for all stages of pregnancy, and I'll offer modifications throughout class. But as always, just listen to your body. If something isn't feeling right, you always come into a position of rest and child's pose, left side lying, and having props nearby. So if you have yoga blocks or pillows, cushions, they can be really helpful and supportive during practice. A couple of quick announcements before we get into class. Upcoming things happening with the womb room. On March 21st, there is a new holistic hospital birth series starting. It's a 6-week childbirth education course, virtual, and that is with our childbirth educator, Christy. Again, that starts March 21st. You can find details about that on the Womb Room website. And every Wednesday at 5 p.m., there is a free pregnancy support group, just a chance to check in with other parents-to-be. It's led by, it's a rotating schedule with some of our doulas and some of our therapists. So check all that out at the website and we will get started. So gather up any props and we're gonna start in a comfortable seat on the yoga mat. So I'm gonna move back to my space. 1 second. All right. And so as you come into your comfortable seat, you may find that you want a blanket or cushion or pillow to sit on. For me, I'm at 37 weeks pregnant, so I always have a pillow or cushion nearby. And you can sit cross-legged, or if you want to prop up with blocks and sit in hero's pose, kneeling, that's an option. And just notice what leg, if you are sitting in an easy seat, what leg you have in front. Typically we have one side that we go to, and in pregnancy we want to be mindful of evening out the pelvis and not always having one in front of the other. So we'll switch. If you're sitting in an easy seat, I'll cue you to switch. So come into your seat, and wherever you are, start to align your spine with the earth-sky axis. So sitting up nice and tall, finding length. You can bring your hands down to your side, on top of the thighs, or maybe bringing hands to your baby space, wherever you'd like to rest them at this moment while we start with a little bit of breath work. Noticing any areas of your body that are making contact with the earth beneath you or whatever you're sitting on. And really ground down in those areas, feeling the support beneath you. And you can start to blink the eyes closed or bring them to a soft gaze, focusing somewhere other than your screen. And starting to notice any areas of the body where you can soften. So noticing the muscles in the forehead, around the eyes, allowing them to relax, unclenching the jaw, maybe parting the lips slightly, relaxing the tongue, allowing the shoulders to melt away from the ears. Softening the elbows, softening and relaxing around the hips. Just kind of checking in from top to bottom. And then as you finish that body scan, start to bring your awareness and your attention to your breath. And as we bring attention to the breath, we tend to start to deepen and lengthen the breath. Breathing in through the nostrils and breathing out through the nostrils. Allowing the breath to gently sit past the back of the throat and getting a little bit more audible with the breath. Feeling or hearing a gentle wave-like sound, ocean-like sound as you breathe in and out. And as you breathe in, sending the breath down to your baby space, allowing the belly to get full and soft, relaxing the bottom of the baby space, the belly. And as you exhale, giving a gentle hug around baby. Not anything too intense, just a gentle hug with the abdominal muscles. Continue breathing at your own pace. Filling up fully and completely. And as you exhale, emptying completely. Noticing the spine, ensuring that it still has lots of length and the shoulders are still melting away from the ears. Taking 2 more breaths here. And the next inhale, gently circle the arms down, around, and up overhead, extending the arms nice and tall. And then as you exhale, bringing the hands together, prayer seal, down to your heart space. Let's do another just like that. Inhale, circle the arms. And exhale, bringing it in close. Taking a moment here to gently bow the head and set intention for your practice, maybe your pregnancy, labor, birth, parenthood. Can be as micro or as macro as you choose, but try to distill that intention down to one word or just a short present tense I am statement. And as we practice this evening, if you find that your thoughts and your mind is drifting to things other than your body and this current moment, you can come back to that intention, repeating it to yourself on your exhale. Take one more breath here. Good. Gently release the hands. You can bring them back down to the tops of the thighs. Gently blink the eyes open. If you're sitting in an easy seat, cross-legged, gently just switch whatever foot is in front. Maybe adjust your seat a little bit if you need to. And we're going to start with just some gentle head and neck rolls to awaken that area of the body before we kind of get into our movement. So on your next inhale, start to gently bring the chin up towards the ceiling, open the throat. And then as you exhale, bring the chin to chest, tucking the head, looking down towards your feet. Or if you're like me, looking down at your bump, can't really see the feet. Inhale, looking up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, chin to chest. Keep moving with the pace of your breath. As you inhale, opening the throat. And as you exhale, chin to chest. Continuing to sit up nice and tall here. The next time that you are down with chin to chest, stay there. And we're going to start rolling from side to side. So on the next inhale, rolling the right ear towards right shoulder. And then exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Keep going with your own breath as you inhale, rolling to the side. And on the exhale, coming back to center. Noticing any areas that feel a little stiff or stuck, and maybe kind of leaning into that a little bit. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our jaw and our neck and shoulder area. So this gentle movement could feel pretty intense. Noticing how it feels different if you gently open and close the jaw. Let's do one more each way. And then when you come back to center, just come back to a neutral spine. So lifting the head, looking forward. And then we're going to transition into tabletop. So hands and knees. If you have blocks nearby, maybe bringing them under the wrists, especially if you're experiencing any heartburn or nausea, to lift the chest a bit, and hands and knees. Or if you're third trimester and maybe just need a little bit more space, that can be a great option as well. A blanket under the wrist too, if you're having any stiffness in the hands, carpal tunnel, or a blanket under the knees can feel really nice too. So taking the time to notice and check in with your body and utilizing the props that can support you. So wherever you are, looking down at your fingers, spreading fingers nice and wide, grounding down on the fingertips, and grounding down in the front of the legs. So kind of pressing the shins into the floor. So you have a nice active posture here, and give a gentle hug around me. So really want to avoid sinking and dumping into the low back, really hugging in towards the knee. All right, we're going to move through our cat and cow tilt. So as you inhale, gently lift the hips, the heart, the gaze, coming into your cow shape. And then on the exhale, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone, cat shape. Inhale, cow, lifting hips, heart, and gaze. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Keep moving with your breath. Initiating the movement here from the pelvis and kind of creating that wave-like shape with the spine as you roll into the cat and cow shape. This is just wonderful postures to do every day to continue to tone the abdominals throughout pregnancy. This is a great position to get into during labor, moving the hips, getting baby into optimal position. And so you can stay here with cat and cow, or you can start to introduce another dimension of movement with circling the hips and circling the neck. Continuing to move with the breath as you inhale, bringing the right ear towards the right hip and circling around. And then as you exhale, coming back into that cat shape. And these circles can be as small or as big as you'd like. So if you want to get a little bit bigger, maybe bringing the hands a little bit in front of you and kind of sitting back and moving more of the body. Really up to you, just listening in what is your body calling for? What is your baby calling for in this movement? And starting to just enter into your own flow. During our prenatal yoga practice, we have so many options because you are the decider. And continuing to practice deciding and doing what feels good in your body. It's just a practice for labor, for parenthood. You are the decider. One more circle this way if you're circling the hips, and then switch, opposite direction. And if you're noticing any round ligament pain, so any discomfort in the front of the body, then kind of don't go as deep into your cow tilts. So sometimes it can feel a little discomfort, you can feel a little discomfort in the front if you kind of go too deep. And so just noticing that and then maybe hugging a little bit more around baby and not dropping as deep into that posture. Continuing to press the fingertips into the mat and pressing the shins into the mat, hugging around baby. One more circle. And then return to a neutral spine. So give that gentle hug around baby. And then on the next inhale, right big toe, or right foot extends to the back of the mat, excuse me. So tucking the toes under, straightening that leg. And then you can stay here in stillness or maybe taking a couple of rocks back and forth. Hearing the ankle, maybe crack and pop here. Good. If you're rocking back and forth, just come back to stillness. So shoulders are stacked over the wrists. And then staying here with both hands on the ground, or extend the left arm, the opposite arm forward. Option from here, staying here with the foot grounded, or give a gentle hug around baby and then lift that foot coming into sunbird. So options for both hands on the ground, foot stays on the ground with one hand up, or hand and foot up, wherever you are, hugging in towards the midline with the inner thighs and breathing here. Good, one more breath. And if the foot is lifted, gently bring it down. Hand can come down. And we're going to open up to the right side of the mat. So ground down in that left hand, right arm extends overhead. Rotate to look to the right long side of the mat, side plank. Options here. Arm can stay extended overhead, bringing it to hip, or bring that right arm to the right ear, feeling that nice stretch along the right side of the body. And then the foot can stay grounded, or taking an exhale as you hug around baby and lift it up. So again, you are the decider here. And whatever felt good yesterday or last week may not be your option today. So checking in, what are you feeling in this moment, in this space? Good, one more breath here. If the leg is lifted, gently bring it back down to the mat. And then we're gonna just lift the chest, bring the foot to the heel, so the toes are pointing up, and then just bring that right hand down the length of the right leg, left arm extends overhead, side bend. Noticing where you can let go, where you can soften in the hips, and maybe trying to push forward a little bit to kind of get into that left hip flexor as you extend that left arm overhead. Gaze can be up, out, or down. One more breath here. Good. Cartwheel the hand, coming back to center, coming back to that tabletop position, and take a moment to wag the tail side to side. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Good. From here, on the next inhale, extending the left foot to the back of the mat, tucking the toes under, staying still or rocking gently back and forth. Fingertips should be spread wide, pressing them into the mat, nice and active here, still hugging around baby. Good, and then come to stillness. Options for sunbird, staying here, both hands on the ground. Extending right arm in front of you, opposite arm. Lifting back leg. So choosing your option, wherever you are, again, hugging the inner thighs in towards the midline, hugging around baby. Nice deep breaths. One more here. Good, if the foot and hand are lifted, bringing them back down to the mat. This time, opening up towards the left side of the mat, left arm sweeps overhead. Coming into side. Same options as the other side, arm is lifted to the hip or extended towards the left ear. And foot can stay grounded or lifting. Gaze can be up, out, or down here. Continuing to breathe. Softening the muscles in the face. Maybe even bringing a gentle smile. Noticing when the jaw becomes clenched. And actively working to relax it. Good, if the leg is lifted, bring it back down and lift the chest. And then left arm is going to extend down the left leg, right arm overhead, feeling a nice stretch in the right side body. Gaze is up, out, or down. One more breath here. Good, carving the arms, coming back to the front of the mat, coming into tabletop. And taking a moment to wag the tail side to side. And we're going to come into our child's pose. So bringing feet together, knees nice and wide. And you may want some props for child's pose. So if it doesn't feel, if it's too deep to rest the chest or the forehead on the floor, you can always bring a block for underneath the forehead or stacked hands. Maybe a pillow or a cushion. Maybe rolling up a blanket for underneath the sitting bones if you're feeling tight in the back. So your choice, taking whatever option feels good for you. Continuing to sit back towards the heels, letting the belly relax here, pelvic floor relax. Good, and start to walk the fingertips towards the right corner of the mat. If you have a block under the forehead, you can always just shift it with you. Or blocks under the hands, just bring them over to the right side. I'm going to keep the sitting bones square towards the front and really trying to, almost like you're pulling the left hand over to the right side. So you feel a nice stretch from the left underarm to the left crease. Good, and then start to walk straight through center and go to the left side. Same thing, you're gonna bring that right hand over as much as you can to the left while keeping the right hip crease squared with the left. So if you start to feel like the right hip is kind of popping up, then bring it back a little bit. One more breath here. And then walk back to center, bringing the knees together, coming back to tabletop. And then we're gonna come into our first downward facing dog. So tucking the toes under, lifting the hips. Then just taking a couple breaths here, maybe to pedal the feet. Noticing that your feet may be a bit wider than hips width, especially if you're further along in your pregnancy to make space for baby. If you are experiencing any of the heartburn or nausea symptoms, blocks under the hands here can also be great to keep the chest lifted. Your knees can stay bent and really focus on untucking the tailbone, lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling. So not having a rounded low back, but really lifting it up Let's take one more breath here. Good, and then start to walk the hands back towards the back of the mat, coming into forward fold. I'm gonna bring my blocks with me, because at this point in pregnancy, I like to keep my hands in downward facing dog arms to give space for baby. So you can bring blocks with you, or if it still feels comfortable, you can bring your hands all the way to your feet. Maybe grab opposite elbows, swinging back and forth, shaking the head, yes and no. And the feet can come as wide as you need. So as wide as the mat, bending the knees, untucking the tailbone, finding your fit, which again can change day to day, week to week. One more breath here. Good. On the next inhale, halfway lift, hands come to the shins. Exhale, hands come to hips, hug around baby. Inhale, rise up to stand. And as you exhale, firm the thighs, anchor the tailbone down, and hug around baby. Inhale, circle the arms. And as you exhale, bring hands down the midline, come into your baby space. Taking 3 breaths here. As you inhale, relaxing the pelvic floor, relaxing belly. And as you exhale, hugging around baby, pelvic floor active and lifting. Good. Bringing the feet to mat's width if they aren't already, and turning the toes out to the side. We're going to come into Malasana. So as you inhale, circle the arms around and up overhead. And then exhale, hands through heart center, options. So you can come into modified Malasana if you're experiencing any symphysis pubic pain, any pelvic girdle discomfort. You might want to stay up high, or coming all the way down into full Malasana. Elbows come to the inside of the thighs. You can also always have a block to put under the sitting bones here for support. Wherever you are, bringing thumbs in towards the chest, and chest presses out into the thumbs, so you're opening up the heart space. Focusing on length in the spine and not kind of caving in here. Yeah. 2 more breaths here. Good. From here, we're going to walk the hands forward, finding downward facing dog. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. One more breath here. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale, kind of bubble the lips together. Kind of just sighing it out. That one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Allowing the jaw to relax. The jaw is directly connected to the pelvic floor. And so we say soft jaw, soft cervix. Allowing that space to relax. Good. Looking forward towards your hand, bring your right thumb to touch your left thumb, and then walk the right foot to the outside of the right hand. So you may need to take a couple steps to get there. Take as many as you need. Coming into this lunge shape. And then when you get there, dropping the knee, untucking the toes. So you're kind of in this low lunge shape. Lots of options here. Maybe bringing support under the hands to lift the chest a little bit. Maybe walking the hands up the thigh all the way up, extending arms overhead. Or if you want to go deep into it, you can bring the forearms to the blocks or to the mat. Always being mindful that in pregnancy we have the relaxin hormone, an increase of relaxin hormone, which allows our joints and our ligaments to kind of get a little bit more flexible, but we don't want to sink too deep into these stretches to cause any injury. So if you're like me, sometimes I like to put a boundary with the block on my back leg to kind of keep this leg from really sinking too deep. Wherever you are, continuing to send breath into that left hip flexor, the right outer hip. One more breath here. And then let's start to shift the weight back to the back leg. So extending the right leg forward. I'm going to bring my blocks with me for my hands, but you can bring the hands to the inside of the leg, maybe walking the hands forward, or coming into this half split. So focusing on the right hamstring here. And just like in our forward fold and downward facing dog, really untuck the tailbone here, and you'll feel that stretch much more significantly in the right hamstring. So you're not focused on the low back, but really targeting that hamstring. Knee might stay bent. That's okay. So like I said, staying lifted, or if it feels accessible to you, maybe walking the hands forward. Taking one more breath here. Good. We're going to shift the weight back forward into that lunge shape. But this time, we're going to tuck the toes. So we're going to come up to lift that knee. And again, taking as much time as you need, maybe bringing blocks under the hands. Plant that back foot at a 45-degree angle. We're moving to warrior one here. So that right hand can come to the right thigh, and the left arm sweeps up. And then when you're ready, right arm can meet the left arm. Both extended overhead, warrior one. So again, taking as many steps as you need to get there, depending on where you are at your pregnancy, how you're feeling in your body today. That may be more fluid, or it may be more fragmented, and that's perfectly fine. Having a nice bend in that front leg, feeling the strength here. Outer edge of the back foot is sealed to the mat. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, and breathing. From here, we're going to move to warrior three. So that back foot is going to start to walk forward. And then when you're ready, letting that back foot fly, coming into warrior three, this T shape with the body. So arms are extended forward, finding your point of focus on the floor in front of you, about a couple feet in front of your right foot. Keeping a micro bend in that standing leg. And hugging around baby here. If you're near a wall is a great support, if you have a wall in front of you, to press the hands against for balance. One more breath here. Good, we're gonna shift into warrior two, so that back leg is going to shoot back into that wide stance. Front leg bends. Yeah, and then open up the arms, warrior two. Good, keep that bend in the front knee, back leg straight. Feeling maybe some heat building in the arms and the shoulders. Shoulders relax away from the ears. And let's flow a little bit. So on the next inhale, straighten that front knee, arms sweep overhead. And then as you exhale, coming back into warrior two. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. On the next inhale, reverse your warrior. So back arm to the back leg, keeping the bend in the front knee. Arm sweeps overhead. Inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, cartwheel the arms, coming into side angle. So this right forearm can come to the top of the thigh, or if you feel that it's accessible, maybe bringing the right hand to a block or to the floor, extending it down the length of the leg. If you have your forearm on the thigh, maybe bringing that right hand to your baby space, cradling the baby here. And then left arm maybe sweeps overhead or around the back for a half bind. And the left hand can come to the right hip crease. And I'm just going to relax my right ear towards the right shoulder for a little neck release here. Lots and lots of options for arms. You are the decider. Continuing to press the feet into the mat, keeping nice, strong legs here to support the upper body. One more breath. Good, unravel if the arms are kind of twisted around. And on the next inhale, we're gonna come back up to warrior two. And then straighten that front leg. All right, so both legs are straight. Right toes are facing the front of the mat and left toes are facing the left side of the mat. If you have a block, grab it, or a pillow, something to prop your hand up on. I'm gonna place mine behind my right foot, coming into triangle. So bringing the arms out to the side, inhale. And then on the exhale, start to tip over from the right hip crease, keeping the legs still. And then bringing that hand to the block or to the floor. Now bring that left hand to your sacrum, the low back, and press the sacrum into the hand. And that left hip is gonna come forward a little bit. So we're not stacking the hips right on top of one another. Kind of keep them a little uneven, if you will. Good, and then that left arm can either come overhead, gaze can go up or down. Triangle pose, and again, feeling the strength of the legs as you press the feet into the mat. Kind of feeling yourself grow a bit taller here. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. Good, looking down at the right foot, we're just going to bring that left hand down and start to come back into that tabletop shape. So turning the back foot forward, lunging, dropping the knee, and then coming into tabletop. Taking a moment here to wag the tail. It's a lot of movement on one side. So you may feel a little bit in the right sacrum or the side. We're going to even out a little bit. cow. Inhale. Exhale. And coming back to neutral, tucking toes, lifting, downward facing dog. Again, in your downward facing dog, untucking the tailbone here. Good, and we're going to come into the other side. So shifting the gaze to the hands, left thumb comes to meet the right, and then start to walk that left foot forward to the outside of the left hand, coming into your lunge shape. And when you're ready, dropping the knee, untucking the toes. And you can always bring a blanket under the knee here if there's any discomfort in the joint. Same options as the other side, so maybe stacking hands up on blocks, maybe walking the hands all the way up to extend, or dropping down low, dropping to the forearms. So you are the decider wherever you are, noticing where you're feeling this posture the most and breathing into that space. So for me, I'm feeling in the right hip flexor, some opening and stretching there. And postures like lunges are wonderful for really opening up the pelvis. This is great for labor, getting baby. If you're trying to kind of shift position for baby, it opens up the pelvic outlet to allow for baby to shift into optimal position. That's why towards the end of pregnancy, often we're suggested to do curve walking. So having that uneven pelvis just helps to open up the pelvic outlet, allow baby to engage a bit deeper down. All right, let's start to shift back. So shifting hips back towards the right leg, coming into the half split. So left leg is extended. Again, it can stay bent. If you need, the knee can stay bent. Untucking the tailbone behind you. And this posture, we really want to target the left hamstring. So if you're not feeling it in the left hamstring, maybe the back is rounded. So trying to lead from the chest, and chest comes forward, untucking the tailbone. Aware that you're breathing in and aware that you're breathing out. You're noticing the mind wandering, returning to that intention that you set in the beginning of the practice. All right, let's start to shift the weight forward, coming back into that lunge shape briefly because we're coming up to warrior one. So taking as many steps as you need to get there, tucking the toes under, lifting the knee, planting that back foot at a 45-degree angle, and then start to walk the left hand up the thigh, and then extend the arms overhead. And your feet are not going to be kind of like one in front of the other. They're going to be on their own track here. So, right leg out to the right, left leg out to the left. The outer edge of the right foot is sealed to the mat. Relaxing the jaw, shoulders melt away from the ears. And then we're going to start to come into warrior three. So walking that back foot forward. And then when you're ready, allowing that back foot to just fly up, finding your balance, finding your point of focus here, hugging around baby. And again, using your space as props. So utilizing the wall. A great tool, especially as we get further along into pregnancy and our center of gravity is constantly shifting. All right, start to bend in the standing leg and then come into that wide warrior two stance. Good, nice bend in the left leg, right leg extended, or excuse me, straight behind you. All right, inhale, start to rise up, straighten the front leg, arms overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, gathering up all the energy that belongs to you. And as you exhale, releasing anything that does not serve you. Inhale, reverse your warrior, back arm to the back leg. Inhale to prepare. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the arms coming into side angle. So again, same options as the other side. I'll turn to face you all. The arm can stay, the forearm can stay at the thigh or extend it down the length of the leg to a block or the floor. And then you can bring that hand to your baby space if the forearm is at the thigh, and arms can be up, overhead, or around the back for a nice half bind in the left hip crease. And then if you choose, maybe dropping left ear to left shoulder for neck release. Wherever you are, continuing to hug around baby, breathing deeply and fully. One more breath here. Good. And then start to come back up, so lifting the chest, straightening that front leg. So the left big toes are facing the front of the mat, and the right toes are facing the side. We're going to come into our triangle. So again, shift your blocks. If you don't have a block near that left foot, the front foot. And then we're going to hinge at the hips. So start to tilt over. Hand can come to the block or to the leg or all the way to the floor. And then bring that right hand to the sacrum, pressing sacrum into the hand. And that right hip is going to shift forward. Yeah. And then from here, arm can come overhead, maybe gazes down or up. And start to peel the chest open here. So giving a nice gentle twist. Relaxing the jaw, relaxing the muscles in the face, softening around the eyelids. Strong legs, pressing up, getting tall here, like something is pulling your hand up towards the sky. One more breath. Good. So we're going to come back up to stand. So from here, just walk the hand up, the thigh, and then just heel toe the feet in. Yeah. All right. We're going to come into our squats. So if you have a block, grab it, or a strap, have them nearby. I'll start with the block, but whatever one you have, or if you don't have any, that's fine too. You don't need these, but it's nice for some of that proprioception. All right, so if you have a block, bring your your feet about hips width distance so that you're squeezing the block in the inner thighs. All right, and then we're gonna come into our squat. So on the inhale, we're sitting back, pelvic floor relaxes. And then as we exhale, coming up and lifting pelvic floor in and up. So let's do a couple here. Inhale, sitting back, almost like you're sitting in a kid-sized chair. Exhale, coming up, squeezing the block, pelvic floor lifts. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Squeeze that block, pelvic floor tones and lifts. Inhale. Exhale. Two more here. Inhale. Exhale. And last one, inhale. Exhale. Good. If the block feels good, stick with it. It's particularly nice if you're having any pelvic pain. That can feel really great. Stick with it. If you would like to try to strap, this can feel really great if you're having any SI joint discomfort, low back, sacrum discomfort. So just make a loop with the strap or a dog leash or scarf, anything really that you can tie around the outside of the thighs. And you can kind of cinch it. So you want your thighs, your legs about hips width distance apart. And again, if you're with the block, stick with it, squeezing the block. If you have the strap, we're going to press out into the strap. All right, so same thing. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale, pressing out into the strap here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, finding that strength in the thighs, supporting the pelvis. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Three more here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And last one, inhale. Exhale. Good. Remove the block, remove the strap. Set it to the side. All right, and then walk to the back of your mat. Bringing the feet out wide, toes turned out. As you inhale, circle the arms down, around and up overhead. And then exhale, hands down the midline, coming into modified or full Malasana. Continuing to lift the chest here, lift the heart space. And as you inhale, noticing how the pelvic floor can relax here. And then exhale, hug around baby, pelvic floor tones in and up. One more breath. Good, walk the hands out, find a tabletop. Hands in place. All right, so we're gonna come into pigeon. Before you get into that, maybe grabbing your props that are close by. I like to have blocks or rolled up blanket or towel to place under the hips, maybe a bolster if you want to fold over, or a pillow. So grab those things first so you have them close by. And then we're going to come into pigeon on the right. So we want to bring the right foot forward, and you can come into pigeon from tabletop or from downward facing dog. We're just bringing the right ankle towards the left wrist, and the right knee is going to stay by the right wrist. Yeah, so bending that right leg, left leg behind you. And we want to try to square the shoulders here. allowing the toes to untuck behind us. Like I said, maybe a block or a rolled up blanket under that right hip if the hip is really lifted to kind of close the space there. And then you can stay lifted or start to fold forward, maybe to a pillow or cushion or a block under the forehead. Again, whatever you have on hand in your home space, making use of it to support yourself. And once you come into this posture, sinking into stillness here. So feeling what can be pretty intense opening and stretching on the outside of the right hip. One more breath here. And if you're folded forward, start to lift the chest. We're going to rotate to face the left long edge of the mat. So just opening up here, keeping that right knee bent and left leg extended. Yeah, so if you look down, the right heel would be in line with the pubic bone. Good. And so from here, we're going to come into revolved head to knee. So just reaching for those left toes with the left hand, and then opening up with the right side. Yeah, feeling a nice stretch on the right side of the body, the lower back. And staying here, or sometimes it can be nice to bring a block behind the knee and drop the left elbow to that block and cradle the head. So again, you are the decider, choosing your version, your fit for this evening. One more breath here. Good. Lifting back up, lifting the chest. Before we go into pigeon on the other side, bringing that right hand down to the outside of the right hip, and then coming up into stargazer. So lifting the hips, left arm overhead, feeling a nice stretch in the hip flexors here. One more breath. And then gently bringing the hips back down. And then coming back into tabletop. So hands to the top of the mat. Your prop should still be there, but you're just switching the side. And then coming into pigeon on the left. So left toes are going to come towards the right hand. Left knee towards the left hand. Getting yourself set up and then allowing the back toes to untuck. Bringing that block or rolled up towel or blanket underneath the left hip. And then staying lifted or start to fold forward. Again, you can fold onto a pillow, cushion, block under the forehead and chest. And just sinking into stillness here. Take one more breath. And then start to lift the chest. And we're going to rotate the bed towards the right side of the mat. So right leg is extended, left knee bent. I'm just going to turn to face y'all. Yeah. And adjust your seat if needed, making sure the sitting bones are nice and evenly grounded. And then start to reach towards the right foot. Revolve head to knee. Leaving space for baby in front. If it's still comfortable, depending on how far along you are in your pregnancy or how much space baby is taking up, maybe you still have room to turn and face the leg. But option is always to revolve and face forward, giving baby space in front. And then same options, you can always bring a block behind the knee to cradle the head here. One more breath. Good, start to come up. And then bringing that left hand to the outside of the left hip. Grounding that right foot down and lifting the hips up. Feeling a nice hip flexor stretch in front as we look up towards the sky. Good, gently release back down to the mat. We're going to come down to our backs. We're going to come into bridge pose before our final relaxation. So grab props to bring with you. Blocks nearby. Just so you don't have to get up and grab them. And we're going to, anytime we're coming down to our backs during pregnancy, we want to come to our side and then roll to the back to keep the integrity of the core so it's not bulging forward. So come to your left side and then roll to come to your back. All right, so feet are about hips width distance here and bringing the heels close to the sitting bones. If you have a block or two nearby, you can use them. You don't need them for bridge, but it can be nice to bring that block in between the legs, like you squat, to squeeze into. And then another block maybe if you want it under the sacrum or supported bridge. So from here, start to lift the hips, pressing the feet into the mat, and squeezing that block if you have. Alternatively, this can be done too with the strap around the legs as well, if that feels good. So you can play around in your own practice, whether you like to squeeze in or press out in this bridge. And again, you can always bring a block under the sacrum. The height will depend on your body shape and dimensions. Taking a few breaths here. Continuing to press the feet into the mat, keeping a nice active posture. One more breath here. And then slowly start to roll down the spine. Removing a block if you have it here. And then just windshield wiper the knees side to side. As the knees come to the right, maybe look to the left. And then knees come to the left and look to the right, keeping shoulders grounded. Doing this for as many times as you need. And then we're going to come into our final resting posture, final relaxation. So lots of options here. If it still feels comfortable for you to lie on your back, feel free. But for most of us, maybe opting for a left sideline shavasana. So bringing pillows, blocks in between the knees, or even resting all the way over, like so. Nice sideline release. Maybe you want to come into supported fish if you want a little bit of a heart opener. Setting up your blocks at medium and low height. Underneath the head and the upper back. Coming into supported fish with the knees bent or straight. Your wall, bringing legs up the wall, especially great for if you are experiencing any swelling in the ankles, and just a nice restorative posture. Bringing a blanket or a block over the sacrum to support underneath the view. And so as always, we're in the comfort of our homes, so if you want to stay in Shavasana for a longer time, you can always mute me or log off and stay in for as long as you'd like. But we'll stay here together for a few minutes before we sign off as a class. So it's up to you if you'd like to stay on the Zoom call throughout Shavasana or log off and stay as long as you'd like in the comfort of your home. Wherever you are, starting to allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Feeling the areas of the body that are making contact with the earth and allowing yourself to sink into stillness here. So as you continue to rest here, we always end class by pulling a card from this goddess deck. And tonight's card is Sekhmet, the Egyptian sun goddess, who is a fiery protector. Her name means strong and mighty, connected with lions, symbolizing her fiercely protective nature. Call upon Sekhmet to shore up your strength and power. And so a message from Sekhmet. See yourself as strong and victorious. Don't blame anyone or any condition. You are the embodiment of strength, not victimhood. As you rise above the old tendencies and see yourself in the new light of beautiful feminine strength, your life will automatically shift in miraculous ways. You'll attract new opportunities, forms of abundance, and relationships to help you manifest your highest potential. Being strong means seeing yourself in the most favorable light you can imagine. Be real. Allow yourself to feel genuine emotions, but most of all, be strong. You are stronger than you think you are, and your strength assures a happy outcome. Gently start to bring your awareness back into your space, your body, as you reintroduce movement to your fingers and toes. With eyes closed, if you're not already on the left side of your body, gently rolling to the left side and taking a breath or two here before coming up into a comfortable seated position. As you arrive in your seat, bringing one hand to your baby space and one hand to your heart space, and sitting up nice and tall, feeling the ground beneath you, supporting you. As we end our practice this evening, we end in gratitude. Gratitude for your body, yourself, for nourishing and nurturing your body, mind, spirit connection to baby in this yoga practice. Gratitude for all of the wonderful, strong things that your body does each and every day to sustain your life and the life that you're growing inside of you. Gratitude for one another for holding this virtual space. And I send gratitude to all of you for trusting me to guide you through this practice. Taking a deep inhale, circling the arms. And as you exhale, bringing hands to your heart center. And if you'd like to close practice with a bow forward, I invite you to do so. Keep peace in your mind, strength in your body, and love in your heart. Be well until next time. I hope to see you soon.